We're back at the Palace Theater in Lorain, Ohio for another My Dog Media screening of a favorite horror movie of mine, the 1985 Return of the Living Dead. Directed by Dan O'Bannon, starring seasoned veterans like James Karen, Clu Gulager, Don Calfa, and a group of punk rockers. Including my favorite, the graveyard dancing Linnea Quigley.
Do you ever fantasize about being killed?
Hosted by Lenora from Lenora's Midnight Rental, with a Wurlitzer organ performance by Rizzato. Let's go check it out.
I also currently host a show called Midnight Rental on the Found Footage Festival's YouTube channel. We have episode 3 coming out tomorrow night at 9 p.m. So just search for Lenora's Midnight Rental and you can find me in an old VHS video store talking about horror movies that I love. Without further ado though, I know why you're really here, and that's to see the one and only Linnea Quigley. So please give a warm round of applause. I know I have to start out though by asking you, how did you get your start into acting? What were your beginnings like? Did you ever see yourself being an actress?
Oh no, I never thought I was going to be an actress. I thought, I'm too shy, I'm not going to be able to do it. And I got started by working at Health Spa. And these girls there that worked there were models and actresses and stuff like that. And they started taking me around and saying, you know, doing stand-in work and extra work, and I kind of got the bug then. So that's how I started, very slowly.
And this was in LA?
This was in LA, yes, at Jack Lane's Health Spa.
And what was your first movie that you were in?
Let's see.
I know you have over 170 credits, so that's
the first movie that I consider I was in was probably Fairy Tales, where I played Sleeping Beauty, so I wasn't like a big part.
And were horror movies something that you were always interested in as a child growing up? Do you remember the first one that you saw?
Oh my God. I think the first one that I saw, scary movie, was Murder in the Rue Morgue. I love that movie. Has anybody else seen it? It's a great movie.
So, besides horror movies, what is your favorite non-horror movie?
Oh, my favorite non-horror movie is Moulin Rouge. I love that movie. I love that. Yay!
I had to ask you that because I'm sure you get asked all the time. Horror this, horror that.
Yes.
Non-horror stuff. And if you could pick a horror movie that's not a horror movie, what kind of part would you want to play?
Oh, always the badass.
Always the badass.
I think, don't you think playing the badass is so much more fun?
Playing the villain is always the best.
Yeah, the villain.
But let's turn our attention to the reason we're also here, which is to see Return of the Living Dead. How did you get cast in Return of the Living Dead, and at what point in your career, how many movies in were you?
I was probably 10 movies in.
Okay.
I'd just done, okay, what did I do? Oh, Savage Streets, I think, right? Yes. I'd just done Savage Streets, and I got cast in Return of the Living Dead after another actress had been cast, but she got pregnant.
Ooh,
so they couldn't do it because they had stopped filming. They needed more money or something like that. And so in that 6 months, there was no way she was showing a lot. So I got cast. I was like so happy to get that part.
What was your audition process like for that?
The audition process was like pretty crazy. I had to do the scene where I'm at the graveyard, and I say, "Do you fantasize about being killed?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, I've got to like get up and I had to dance and do all that."
Did you do that clothed for the audition?
No, I had to do it taking off my clothes to prove that I would do it for real. So it was like kind of scary. I mean, they had the casting director in there, Stanley Stokes. They had Dan O'Bannon, and they had the producer, Graham Henderson. So it was like nerve-wracking.
That must have been. And this next question is really more for females than men, but I was going to, of course, ask you about being naked in that movie, because that is a big part of being nude. Did you ever find being a female working along with other actresses? Did that, because I myself work with other females and I keep my clothes on, but I encountered some females who might not be as nice. Did you find that females gave you an edge because you were willing to wear it off?
Yeah, I mean, my bass player, Hayden Kumar, was like an extra in the zombie scene where all the extras are running and I run and bite the cop's head off. And some of the extras were like, "Oh God, I can't believe she's standing nude," and you know, saying all these things when I had to be, you know, and they had like this like kind of like, ew, you know, oh my gosh. Yeah, they were not very happy about me being nude, but it's like I was doing what I was supposed to do.
You were being paid to.
I was being paid to do that. So not a lot, but I was being paid.
And when you were shooting the cemetery scenes, being that you were buried at all, was that a closed set? Was that, or was it just
No, it wasn't a closed set. They had, like, James Cameron invited Jason Brogard to the set, and I was like, oh my God. And then another time, this guy who played Tarzan was invited to the set, and I was just like, oh God. I didn't know I could say, oh, closed set, nobody can see, you know. And they always invite their friends to the set when there's a new day. I noticed.
How many days did that take to shoot that scene?
Only one.
Okay.
We were on a short budget. So you're talking about right?
Yeah, the graveyard.
That only was one day we shot.
How long was the entire filming production as a whole?
I think it was 6 weeks on the whole.
Okay.
So it wasn't that long of a shoot compared to a lot of things.
So being that Scream Queens, it's a lot more than just screaming, or running, and jumping, and falling, or fighting. Have you ever done any of your own stunts or experienced any on-set injuries? In 107 movies, I'm sure that...
I have done my own stunts.
Wow.
I've only been hurt kind of once where in Sorority Babes in the stunt bubble around when the one girl was drunk and she hit me against the shower thing. It's like my arm swelled up, but I never got hurt. I get hurt when I'm at home. Like the snake.
Yeah, we're lucky that Linnea is standing.
Yes.
Right. She recently recovered from serious surgery.
Yes. It was like, oh my God. I gotta make Lorain.
So, a lot of people might not realize that the story of Return of the Living Dead was written by Rudy Rickey, John Russo, and Russell Schreiner, who had their hands in Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead. But when Tobe Hooper was originally supposed to direct Return of the Living Dead, but then it changed hands to Dan O'Bannon, only under the agreement that Dan O'Bannon got to rewrite the screenplay to his liking.
Yes.
And being that that was his first directorial effort, and Dan O'Bannon, he wrote Alien, the screenplay for Alien, Blue Thunder, Total Recall. So I mean, this is a guy with good writing chops, but being that it was his first directorial effort, what was that like working with him?
It was hard working with Dan. I personally didn't have a problem, but he was very temperamental, and he wanted, now I look back on it, he wanted this film to work. So he was really passionate about it, so things would get him mad. And so some of the actors and him had some problems working together, and he wanted things completely to his specifications.
He had a vision.
He had a vision, yes. And so, yeah. So it was difficult to work with.
What would, in regards to your very striking, very iconic, not only hair, but wardrobe, did you have any hand in that? I mean, you have shorts on that have skeleton on the crotch.
Yes.
Did you get to keep any of that?
I did, and I sold it. I'm like, for like nothing. It was like, it's somewhere, I don't know where, but I have the shorts, I have the vest, and the terry top. And they're somewhere, I don't know where. I didn't think anybody would want them. Well, Beverly Randolph, who played Tina, threw away her clothes. Like, not that long ago. I'm like, you know, and she knew they were probably worth something. She just went, oh, nobody wants these. Everybody wants them. I know.
Well, something as a person who does collect VHS tapes, I have to ask about how Linnea Quigley's horror workout came to be.
Oh, okay. The horror workout came to be because we were working on a film called Murder Weapon. And Ken Hall, who does effects and does directing and that, and writing, came to set, and we were like talking about, like I was doing this scene where I'm like smashing this guy's head in, and it was like up, down, up, down, up, down. Like you have to do it a million times. And we started talking about how horror movies are such a workout. You know, you're running, you're struggling, you're fighting, and we thought, we had these bubbles go over our heads going, wouldn't that be a fun video? And we just thought nothing of it. We thought, okay, you know, if we get the money, we'll do it. And we got the money like right away, and we did it. Like in 2 days.
It is something, if you've never seen Linnea Quigley's horror workout tape, was that 1989 or 1990?
I don't know.
I think it was Murder Weapon was 89.
Okay, it was 89, I think.
Okay.
I think it was.
It is definitely, look it up on the internet, it is definitely funny. It's incredible. But getting your hands on a copy of that tape today is near impossible.
Yeah.
And I did look today when the last one sold on eBay. It sold for $300.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Never did we think that would sell for $300.
What's a production you may have initially been apprehensive about working on, but then it ended up completely surprising you with success?
Oh, man.
Vice Academy?
Probably Vice Academy, right. I was like, because the way that Rick Sloan would direct was like, we would stand there and we'd be going, like, the Brady Bunch, like, so what are you doing today, Dee Dee? You know, we like did all this acting. We thought, oh God, this is like so cheap.
But it went on to have an entire series.
And Savage Street surprised me too.
How about your experience with Untitled Demons?
Oh, that was interesting because I was like older than everybody else.
Really?
And I felt like, oh my God, this is like really weird. I'm working with all these kids and stuff. It was just a weird experience.
Well, the other question I did want to ask, having done the horror hosting thing myself, I have to ask you about your time on Ron Shear's Up All Night. How many episodes of Up All Night did you appear in?
Probably I appeared in 8 episodes of Up All Night, and I had the best time doing it because it was all improv. We had like a basic guideline, and we did improv, and Rhonda is like such a good person, and we just had a blast doing it.
I've seen some of the clips, and they're just amazing. Definitely worth looking up.
Yes, yes, they're fun.
And I know that I have been asking a lot of miscellaneous questions, and that's because I'm saving the very specific Return of the Living Dead questions for you guys in the audience.
So you're saving it for us.
Because I know that that's what always happens. You guys have nitty-gritty questions. So I'm going to hop off stage and go over to the crowd and get some
Oh, you're gonna go into the crowd?
Yeah, hop on some sneakers here.
You're brave. There's some zombies out there, be careful.
So, if you have a question for Linnea, please put your hand up, and I will come to you.
And in the interim, I want to thank Jeremy White for doing my hair. Isn't it marvelous? He's right there. Thank you, Jeremy.
Who has a question for Linnea? I see someone right there in the beginning. Or in the beginning, oh my gosh, right in the middle. Here you go, sir.
Did you get to keep your merkin?
No, I didn't keep the merkin. I don't know what they did with it. They probably threw it in the trash afterward. I did not get to keep it, but that's good that you know about it. Because you would probably think women were really weird looking when you found a real one.
I actually think Dave had a question.
Everybody's being shy.
Everyone's being shy.
Hello. So how miserable was it filming in the rain, soaking wet for at least 75% of your time?
Oh my, it was really miserable filming in the rain. It was like, well, it would be like going outside now and having a shower out there with no hot water and just like being under it all night long until the morning. It would be, if you can imagine that, that's what it was like. It was really bad.
Does anyone else have any questions for Linnea? Oh, you've got one right here.
I'm just curious, at what point in your career did you realize you had made it as a scream queen? And how did that change your life?
Oh boy.
Deep questions.
Yes. I think I realized I was a scream queen probably after Return of the Living Dead. Because I didn't think anybody would recognize me or, you know, come up to me for autographs. And I was at a Fangoria convention and I was like, oh God, I'm gonna be so embarrassed. Nobody's gonna want my picture. Nobody's gonna wanna talk to me or anything. And all of a sudden, when I walked into the place, all these people started coming up to me and going, oh, you know, I love you in Return of the Living Dead and all that. And I had to go in the bathroom and hide. I was so scared. So then I knew I was a screamer. I was terrified. I was like, oh my God, people are so in.
I know that you are a passionate animal lover.
Oh, I was going to say that. Yes, I've got 14 dogs. In fact, this is how that happened. I kind of fell over one of them. I'd like to say I was like running from zombies or something, but it was like I fell over one of them at 6 in the morning and fractured my knee, so that was like part of the thing of having 14 dogs.
So do you have like little Linnea's Animal Rescue?
It's called Moulin Rouge Animal Rescue.
That's amazing. I know you're very passionate even.
I am.
Anything else you want to add about Return of the Living Dead? Any on-set experiences before the movie starts?
Well, let me think. I wish that Suicide and Clue and Don and James were all with us. And I know Clue, everybody on November 15th at night, give Clue some thought because he's having a memorial. So everybody,
thank you so much for being here tonight.
well, thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh.
I know you almost banned me from here, right?
Oh, I gave you the heads up.
Watch out for her, she's trouble.
Linnea, will you still be here signing after the movie?
Yes, I should.
Okay,
Yes.
Linnea will still be here after the movie ends so that you can get whatever else you want signed from her. I think without further ado, we're going to begin.
Oh, let's do that. Oh yeah. Mark, David, Rachel, everyone.
Enjoy Return of the Living Dead.
Put your hands back together. Saul Rizzato, everybody on the organ. Yeah.